There are two ways the top stitch might be damaged. One is when the bottom or bobbin thread is either broken or loose or bunched up due to incorrect sewing machine tension. The other is when the top thread is broken. This video describes two methods of beginning and ending a top stitch repair in ways that will prevent both the new and old threads from coming undone in the future. The first description will be tying off the new thread, and the second description will be sewing off the new thread. You can use either method for any repair depending on what you decide will be the best way for each individual case. Let's start with the tying off method.
Okay, so this is one of the typical top stitching issues where the top stitch thread is still intact, okay? And it's stopped there, and you can, if you could flip it inside out, you'd see that the break is in the bottom thread, the bobbin thread, okay? And this lends itself to a manufacturer machinist fault, not an external fault from the top, okay? So I'm pulling up gently to see where it stops. You've got to be careful because if it's really bad, it'll just go boom, 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 all the way along. In that case, you might need to machine stitch it because the bobbin thread on the bottom has had it. But you can do quite large areas of this top stitch. But I know here is good and I know here is good because I can see my bobbin thread here and there is good. So I'm going to tie a knot here, and that's where I'm going to start my loop up through there and then around, and then I'll tie it off here and I poke that knot back down through the hole. What I'm doing is I'm just feeding under where it's good. Okay. And then I'm literally tying a granny knot close to here. You see, granny knot comes in, and there's a little bit of play in here. There's a little bit of play there because it's a bit loose. So I actually just tie it where it's going to poke back into the hole, about right near the end. Alright, so when I pull that down through, it's going to go back down through the hole. Okay, so that's my start. And I just take this through that same hole, being careful not to try and sever any thread, and up through the next one. Try and go the same way. Pliers to pull through. And that should just give my first one a pull into the hole. You see there where it's just pulling tight into the hole? With a little bit of a pull, I should have pretty good tension now. So to tie off, I can again come back through here. Get a little knot through there. Close to the hole. And then go back down through that hole. And these ones can snip off because they're the bottom thread.
Now let's look at a way of sewing off the loose end threads.
So we're looking at other methods to lock off these two good threads. We're probably going to have to come back a little bit so we can get some length out of it. So we can pull out a few. This is if you really want to make sure it's locked off good. Okay. So I think we'll lock these off first and then we'll go do our repair.
So what we want to do is to loop the loose end around the existing stitch and then pull it back along the stitch line. We'll repeat that 2 or 3 times to lock the loose end of the cotton back down into the stitches.
Punches through. Okay. So just stopping near the end, we can put our little threader through. See how that's locking off there, and we can do it again. One, two loops, heading back, and then we can just pull this one through. So now, and that's looping around. Go up 2, because this is the last one, we want to just pull it in, right?
Yep.
See, I'm up 2. Dunno. Then we'll do this side and then we'll just finish the stitch.
So now we're going to just do the main repair. The old ends have been locked off, so now we're going to do the main top stitch. We'll leave a tail at both ends and then we'll lock them off just the same as we did with the broken thread.
Leave enough tail. There's the tail there. Go through 2, back 1. Making sure you hang on to your tail. Keep a hold of your tail. We loop So we've locked it off here, and then we can loop again. So you can see there. Back through.
So after 2, 3, maybe 4 loops around the existing stitches, you can just pull the last bit of tail back down into the underside of the piece of material and trail it off so that it doesn't come back up through the last hole. Disappears completely out of sight. Perfect repair.